Good afternoon, it's Dr. Annette. I'm here with something that I just love to talk about, and I'm hoping that you guys are all excited to hear about it too. The big fat lie, or what I like to call the big carb lie, when people tell me that their doctor said, if you don't eat carbohydrates, you're gonna get sick. Or you have to eat carbohydrates because they're necessary. It just makes me laugh. It's so comical to me. And I just think that the truth needs to be out there for all of you that are watching. So hello, please say something if you're watching. I love to say hi to my viewers. Make a comment below, send me some hearts. Feel free to share this if you think it's something that can help someone you know. And honestly, I get real passionate about these things, and this stuff is all researched, so don't just take my word for it. Get out there and do some research on your own. You will find that what I'm getting ready to say is absolutely 100% true. So, yeah, you've been fed a lie. Hey, Michelle, you've been fed a big lie. So let's break this down. So obesity and overweight, and even people that are skinny fat. I don't know if you've heard that term before, but there's a lot of people out there that are skinny, but they're still fat because they're insulin resistant. So obesity is a disease. It's caused by hormones. The main hormone is called insulin. Yes, insulin is a hormone. Obesity is not caused by laziness, low motivation, inability to follow through with anything. No, it is not. People suffer shame, they suffer blame, they feel guilty. They are not just low motivators. This is a disease, and it's caused by our society. And hey, Stacy, thank you. So let's talk about why we live in a country that is obese, overweight, not at a healthy weight. Heck, I think they've even changed the guidelines in the last 20 years over what is a healthy weight based on what our society looks like, which is BS, because healthy is still healthy regardless of what the common size for people is. So, salt and vinegar chips. Haha, that's funny, Tanya. So, insulin resistance is what we're talking about here. So insulin is the hormone that is related to obesity. Insulin has two jobs. Insulin has two jobs. One of those jobs is to get sugar from carbohydrates that you eat into the cell so the cell can make energy out of it. And the other job is to store fat. So guess what happens? You're putting the sugar in the cells and you're storing fat. So who has insulin resistance? I already said it's an epidemic. 50% of the people in the United States have insulin resistance, which, how do you get insulin resistance? This is how. So you eat a high carbohydrate diet, a high sugar diet, and your body is constantly using insulin to push that sugar from those carbohydrates into the cell so it can make energy out of those cells. Well, the more sugar you eat, the more insulin you have to make. And the more, hi Brian, and the more sugar that your cells get exposed to, the more insulin your body makes. Eventually those cells start to become resistant to that insulin. They're like, no, we have enough. We don't need any more sugar. Please move on by. Go on by. I don't need it. So then what happens? Your cells are insulin resistant. So then the sugar has no place to go. It stays in your blood. That's why people get high blood sugar. It's by insulin resistant. The inability of insulin to put the sugar into a cell. So guess what happens? The insulin has to store anything that's left over as fat. So that's why there's this vicious cycle. There are so many people in the United States that have insulin resistance. Most of them are undiagnosed as insulin resistant. So 50% of the people in the United States have insulin resistance. That's not even counting the people that don't know it yet, like the people that are skinny fat, the people that have a normal body weight that don't even know they're insulin resistant yet. When I ask people, do you have a problem with your blood sugar? You know what the answer I get most frequently is? No, I'm not diabetic. No, I'm not hypoglycemic. Well, there's a big window in between hypoglycemic and diabetes that is not the normal window. The normal blood sugar window is like right here, and the diabetes and hypoglycemia window is way out here. So guess what? Everybody between here and normal has a blood sugar or an insulin problem, and they don't even know it yet. And when people say, well, you have to have carbs, it just blows my mind. It just blows my mind. I cannot believe that our society has been taught that carbs are necessary for health. They are not. So insulin resistance equals type 2 diabetes at some point. Eventually, that insulin resistance is going to get worse and worse and worse, and eventually it's going to turn into type 2 diabetes. Sometimes it goes on for years and years and years. These people end up with all kinds of different symptoms that they just can't quite put their finger on, fatty liver disease, things like that. Did you know that the Diabetes Association tells people that they need to eat between 40 and 65 grams of carbs in every meal, plus snacks? That's like 50% of the calories a day coming from carbohydrates and sugar. So, I mean, no wonder people are confused. No wonder people don't know what to eat. No wonder people keep gaining weight, even though they think they're eating a healthy diet. I mean, how many people think that they've been eating a healthy diet for years, and now that all this new research is coming out about fat and low carb and all of that, people are saying paleo, things like that, people are realizing that they've been eating way too many carbs all their life, and they didn't even know. I mean, look at that food pyramid. Flip that sucker upside down and put it on its point, and you'd be better. So like I said, it's a vicious cycle. So you eat something with carbs, which causes blood sugar to rise. Then your body releases insulin, which causes your insulin to go up. Well, then you get hungry again, and so you eat more carbs, and then your insulin goes up, and goes up, and then if you're medicated in the middle of that, sorry, Rachel, yeah, it's 40 to 65 grams per meal, right? Yeah, shocking, isn't it? So if you're medicated, you eat something with carbs, then you take your medicine to make your insulin work better, then you get hungry and you eat again. So it's just a vicious cycle. It's just eat your carbs, take your meds, eat your carbs, take your meds. It's around and around and around we go. And this is just making us all sick. So if you do some research, you'll find that insulin resistance is the single biggest factor in cardiovascular disease. About 42% of heart attacks are actually caused by the side effects of insulin resistance. I mean, just think about that for a minute. So, hey everybody, thanks for your comments. Yeah, Stacy, I like to keep people, less than 100 grams per day for sure. And trying to lose weight, I am trying to get them below 20 grams if they're trying to lose weight. But it's all about balance. You have to make sure you're getting your nutrients, but we're going to talk about that. So the whole thing is, it's about food. It's about what you put in your mouth. Insulin resistance can be reversed. Diabetes type 2 can be completely reversed. You can train your body to burn sugar and fat and all of those things by eating properly, getting a little bit of exercise and doing those things. So they did some research about glucose and insulin and how your body reacts to those macronutrients. Your body has 3 typical macronutrients, which is carbohydrates, fat, and protein. So what happens when you eat carbohydrates, your insulin goes up. We all know that. It's part of the deal. Everybody's aware of that. When you eat protein, your insulin does go up, but not as high. But when you eat fat, this is going to be shocking, your insulin doesn't raise hardly at all. Very tiny, very tiny. I actually have a graph that I found online. I'll post in the comments below so you can look at it. But it talks about the spike of glucose and insulin whenever you eat one of those 3 macronutrients. And fat is the only one that doesn't spike your insulin, and carbohydrates spikes it the most. So basically what that means is people have what you'll call carbohydrate toxicity. Carbohydrate toxicity, which is why people are getting sick. Carbohydrates make sugar. The insulin cannot get the sugar into the cells. Therefore, the blood sugar rises, your insulin rises, your fat storage increases, and then guess what rises after that? Your hunger. Because nothing's working the way it's supposed to be. Your cells aren't getting the energy they're supposed to get, so you get hungry. Because the energy isn't there. Your body knows it needs more energy and it's not getting it, so it makes you hungry. That's just like when you go to a Chinese restaurant in America, not in China, and you eat Americanized Chinese food. You get this big plate full of rice and vegetables and meat, and you think you're eating a healthy meal, but the rice in that meal, first of all, turns off your body's I'm full factor. So you eat way more than you should. And an hour later, guess what? Who can tell me that's watching what happens an hour after you eat Chinese food? Does anybody know? I know. You get hungry again because your insulin has spiked and this cycle has started. And the next thing you know, you want to eat again because your body is craving energy. It's crazy. So why do we do that? It's because we've been trained to do that over and over and over again for years and years and years. Yeah, Brian, you're hungry again. So I hear people say all the time, well, my doctor said that I have to eat carbs. My doctor said that carbs are a necessity. The only essential macronutrients that your body needs are fat and protein. Did you know that your body can make all of the glucose that it needs itself? It's a process called gluconeogenesis. It's a big long word, which means I make my own glucose. So, don't get sucked into that whole, if I don't eat carbs, I won't have any sugar. My brain can't survive if it doesn't have sugar. Well, guess what? If your body is healthy and you're eating the proper nutrients, your body can make its own sugar. So you don't need to eat carbohydrates to have sugar for your body to use. It'll make its own. So don't fall into that carbohydrates are necessary thing because they're not. Now, do I tell people to eat green vegetables? I absolutely do. Do I tell people to occasionally eat tart berries and tart fruits? Yes, I do, because there are things called phytonutrients in there that make your body healthy. But we're talking about carbs, like breads and pastas and potatoes and all of those things. So here's what you want to do. And when you want to stop eating all those carbs, you want to eat more fat. You see my shirt? Can you read that? It's backwards, I know, but it says, "That's too much bacon," said no one ever. I thought it was funny. Had to have this shirt. I love it. Eat more fat. Only eat when you're hungry. Now, some people say they're never hungry. You do have to eat. Some people say that they're always hungry, but that's because of insulin. Stay away from grains, all grains. There's no such thing as necessary grains. Potatoes and sugar. If you can get those things out of your diet, you'll feel so much better. Your inflammation will go down. Your body will be healthier. You will start to burn your own fat for fuel. Avoid anything that says low fat, low sugar, low salt, because you know what? If they took the time to put that on the package, they've altered that food. You need to eat real food. Tanya, what about the fiber issue? Of course you need fiber. Fiber comes from vegetables like broccoli and spinach and those things. Also, fruits have fiber too as well. Fiber is great for you. It's necessary. It also helps your gut be healthier because the microbes in your gut actually live off of certain types of fiber. So yes, fiber is good. So insulin resistance, the big fat lie, can be corrected by proper diet, proper exercise, proper nutrition. It works 100% of the time, unless your pancreas has gotten to the point where it just doesn't function right anymore. Sometimes people are already that far, and there's nothing we can do to 100% correct that. But even people with type 1 diabetes can reduce their need for insulin by eating a proper diet. And no, type 1 diabetics do not need carbs to survive. No, it's not true. So guess what happens when you start eating fat? You're less hungry. You're more satisfied. You have a lot more fun with food because it tastes yummy and it satisfies you and it makes you feel fabulous, and you have more energy. Your body can burn that fat and use it to repair things like cell walls and make you healthier. And guess what? Your hormones need fat to produce. So if you don't eat any fat at all and you've been having problems with your hormones, guess what? One of the raw materials needed to make and transport hormones where they go is fat. Healthy fat, not the kind that's wrapped around French fries. Sorry. So, what about this low carb, high fat thing? Decreases inflammatory conditions, decreases hunger. Research is being done on all kinds of conditions to find out just how much this low carb, high fat thing can do. And they're finding things like cancer and heart disease and diabetes are all made better by changing your lifestyle. It also saves money. Everybody's like, I can't afford to eat healthy because it's too expensive. You can't afford not to. The medicine that you have to take because you eat all of those carbs is expensive. It's costing you. And over the course of your life, it's going to cost you very, very, very much money. So pay a little more to eat some fresh vegetables and eat a high fat avocados and healthy fats to make your body healthier, and you won't have to worry about being sick when you're old. So if this has been helpful, please share. If someone shared this with you and you'd like to know more information, get back to me, get back to the person who shared it with you. We have a group of people that are really, really, really excited about the low carb, high fat movement. And there are things such as exogenous ketones that you can take to skip the keto flu, beat the keto flu, feel better immediately, knock down those cravings. If you're somebody who suffers from cravings and really feels like changing their lifestyle to something more healthy is not possible because you've tried it and you've tried it and you've tried it and it's not worked, please get back with me or the person who shared this with you, and we can help you. We can help you beat those cravings. We can help you turn your life around and get back on the right track and beat those odds and really get things moving in the right direction. Don't allow society to teach you all of these things that are just, it's old news, old research. Read some new research. Get on there. You can get on YouTube and look TED Talks up and look up type 2 diabetes, and there's all kinds of stuff on there. If you would like to join my Facebook group, just put group in the comments below. I will add you to my Facebook group where I share information. I help people. I have meal plans, all kinds of wonderful things there. If you'd like to change your lifestyle, please let me know. Please get back to the person who shared this with you. We're here to help. We want to see people learn how to best live their lives and not be ill in their later life, and make a change that will benefit you and your family long term. So thank you for watching. Please share if you think this is helpful. Please tell people to get back with me. If you want to be a member of my group, just type group below and I'll add you to the group. And have a wonderful, wonderful day. Yes, Stacy, it's not a fad. It's all about lifestyle. You should never do a diet. You should do a lifestyle that will sustain you for the rest of your life so you can be healthy and happy and spend time with those people you care about. So thank you all for watching. Thank you for sharing. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.